Greetings, friends and future friends. This video I call Studio Shop Videos. Now, if you're like me and you don't have a lot of money to pay somebody to come in and fix and repair things in your studio, you got to do it yourself. So I'm going to show you how you can fix and repair and adjust things in your studio. That way you can get back to work creating, whether it be videos or music or whatever you're a creator of. So let's go see if we can find something to fix. Now in this video, I want to give you a tour of the two studios, the video studio and the audio studio. And I want to show you the gear and the equipment I'm using to create these YouTube videos. Now with that being said, if you see anything in this video that you have a question about, how am I using this with that or that with this, please drop a comment down below and I'll see if I can answer that question or maybe even do a video on it. So keep in mind when you're watching this video of the equipment I'm using. And of course, this is equipment that you could use also to create YouTube content. So we're now coming into the video studio. And as you can see on this back wall, we have a green screen setup. And if you watched a couple of the videos, you'll see that we created the light brackets up on top and also the light brackets on the bottom. And this gives us a nice green screen background if we want to shoot green screen. And if we go over to it a little more, you can see we have a green screen all the way down from the bottom all the way to the top. And also with these lights up on top, it really gives nice distribution of light and makes the green screen really work well. Now behind the green screen, you can see I have my Korg PA1000, which I can play styles or MP3s. I also have my Headrush pedal board, which means I can actually perform live in front of the green screen. So when you have a video studio, you have a lot of gear and you need some shelving to store that gear when you're not using it. Now the camera I use the most in the studio is my Canon XA70. It's great. I have it mounted on a tripod, so as it sits now, I can shoot the background for the intros and the outros to my videos, and then all I have to do is spin it around and I can shoot green screen. Now in this area of the studio, I have two backdrops I can shoot against. One where the red jacket is if I'm doing a guitar tutorial, or if I needed to shoot an intro or an outro to one of my videos, what I use is this whole back wall. And this is accumulation of memorabilia I've collected over the years. And this makes for a nice backdrop when I'm shooting those intros and outros. So in this studio, I have a 16-channel mixer, which mixes all the instruments and overhead mics. And then I have some various processing down below, a few mic preamps, and everything I need to get the great signal from the microphones to the camera. So we also have these shotgun mics, which give us great audio when we're recording an intro or an outro. And if you remember, we did a video on this bracket we built to give more support to that mic stand. So I don't know if anybody finds this interesting, but I'm going to throw it in here anyway. This is my Quest 2 on the left and my Quest 3 on the right. I really like playing around in the VR world. It's really cool stuff. As you can see, I have a collection of Event BAS 2020 speakers. I really love these guys. These are my backup units up here. And here's one of my BAS 2020s in action, working in the studio. So now let's walk down the hall to the audio studio. And now we're in the audio studio. So we're now in the audio studio. I have some Ibanez guitars hanging on the wall over there. I got a Tele, an Ibanez Roadstar, an Ibanez RG770, an EVH Jackson Frankenstein, an RG770, and then my two basses. And then if you go back and watch a couple of the videos, I did 2 or 3 videos on the EVH Frankenstein that we built. So this laptop is connected to that monitor above. What this laptop does is get our information for social media out, and also anything that's on that screen can be projected in the vocal booth. If we're doing vocal tracking, we can bring up the lyrics right in the vocal booth. So this is how I take care of the stress in my day. I fire up the old electric drum set. They're all mesh heads, including the kick drum. It's a mesh head. As keyboards and sound modules go, we have the Yamaha MO6, we have the Korg Electro Tribe, and then way here on the other side of the studio, we have the Korg PA5X, which you've seen in many videos, and the Korg Nautilus down below. We also have an Alesis QSR. As for computer power, I have a souped up Alienware, which I use Photoshop, Vegas, and Sonar for all my editing. And down below I have some mic preamps and even a TC Helicon Voice Live. Also down below my keyboards I have a Headrush pedal board I use for all my guitar tracking. Now one thing I love about the Korg PA5X is it has a video out. So I can actually video out to a monitor above it. And you can see I have a chord change playing on this upper monitor, which is really nice because I can see this chord change from across the room. Now here's our vocal booth. And you can see we have a big monitor in here so you can see the lyrics as you're singing it. We have a Neumann 103. Then down to the right, we have a little mixer in here, which means you can adjust the volume of your headsets right in here. The sound of the music you're playing and your voice. Then to the right, we actually have a mouse control or trackball in here, which means you can adjust things in that laptop from in the studio. And that's great when you're tracking vocals. Now before we leave the studio, I want to show you two more things. And that's these guys right here, one here, and then I have another one on the other side. And what they are is they're wall-mounted camera mounts. And if you bring it down, you're going to see that on the end of this thing, I've tightened it up, there's different kinds of mounting brackets. Now I have this set up so I can put my camera on it if I'm shooting a tutorial, and I'll show you that in a minute. But these are really great. They're telescopic, so you can slide them in and out. You can move them all around, and depending on what kind of mount you put on here, I'll have this kind of mount, which then I can take and change this any way I want. And what's really cool, these things can go low, I can put them up high, whatever I want in the studio, I can put a camera and bring it in and out. Then what's really cool is when you're done, you loosen it, you put it out of sight, you tighten it down, and now that it's tightened, it's gonna stay there out of the way. And these are really great if you have a studio, and I'm gonna show you a couple of the applications that I use these things in. So what I've done is I placed an Arca mount at the end of this stand. Now, what that allows me to do is if I take my microphone, and you can see I put an Arca mount on the bottom of my microphone. So if I want to do some sampling or I want to add a vocal track to something real quick, I can just come in here, slide the Arca mount into the Arca mount, tighten it up, and now I can move this anywhere I want in the studio, and I have a microphone, just like having a microphone stand that you can use. Or if I'm doing some serious voiceovers, I can actually come over here and I did the same thing with my big condenser mic. I have an Arca mount on the bottom of it, slide it in place, tighten it up, and now I have a condenser mic. I can run into my preamp with a windscreen, all ready to go. And then because this has a mount, I can move this anywhere I want in the studio, up and down, and get it in place and do vocal tracking right along with the video. Now you can see the configuration of the stand on the left side of the studio and how I'm using it. It's really a cool device here. So I have my camera, my FX30 mounted here. I have a monitor mounted here so I can see what's going on in the camera. And then I have my wireless for my wireless microphones. And if you look down there, you're gonna see that's the screen of the PA5X. But I can see the screen right here. Now what's really great about having this mount like this is that when I'm doing a tutorial on the keyboards, I can now play the keyboards up and down. I'll have nothing in my way, and I can still see this monitor. And then if I have to reach up and touch a screen, you can see my finger in the screen. I can go up here and say, okay, you touch this and you do this. So this is the way I film my tutorials. And this is how I use these stands. They're really great because now everything's mounted there. And when sometimes in the middle of shooting, I say, okay, I've got everything together, or at the end of shooting, everything's cool. What I'll do is leave it like this, or move it to the side, left or right. I can leave it like this because it's out of the way, and then see what I have. If I don't have any, the video isn't what I want it to be, I can come back, and because everything's in the same place, reshoot, and it's really great. So this is how I film the tutorials. Now, I'm shooting the PA5X now, but what I would do is turn the camera this way and shoot more down, and I'd actually shoot, you can see the Nautilus down below, if I wanted to shoot just the screen of the Nautilus. But these stands are really great. Now, these are Ulanzi, but there's other different manufacturers out there, but I would suggest if you have the room in your studio, or if you're in actually a tight place, get a couple of these stands. They're really good. You mount them to the wall, and then they're out of the way when you don't need them, and then when you need them, boom. Because think about it, if I had to have a camera stand or anything in here, it would be in the way, I couldn't play. But with these things coming in overhead, I mount my camera, I mount my monitor, and away I go. So I hope this video showed you that you can fix and repair these things yourself. That way you don't have to have someone else come in and do it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. You help us grow the channel. That way we can fix more stuff. So take care, my friends, and thanks for watching.